What would you do if the most dangerous man in London was your only way out? The rain hammered against the grimy windows of the abandoned warehouse as 23-year-old Emma Clarke pressed herself against the cold brick wall, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Blood trickled from a cut above her eyebrow, and her white blouse was torn at the shoulder. "Please," she whispered to no one, her voice breaking. "Please, someone help me." 3 months. That's how long she'd been trapped in Markus Volkov's trafficking ring, forced to work in his underground casino, watched every second of every day. Tonight was supposed to be her escape, her only chance. But they'd found her. Heavy footsteps echoed through the corridor behind her. Marcus's men were close. Too close. Emma's legs trembled as she stumbled forward, pushing through a door that led to the main hall of what appeared to be an exclusive private club. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light over marble floors. Men in expensive suits stood in clusters, drinks in hand, unaware of the horror that existed just beyond those walls. She didn't belong here. Her torn clothes, her bleeding face, her bare feet, she was a ghost crashing a party for gods. "There she is!" A rough voice shouted behind her. Emma ran, her feet slapping against the cold marble. Heads turned. Conversations stopped. She could feel dozens of eyes on her, but no one moved to help. No one ever did. She collapsed in the center of the hall, her knees giving out from exhaustion and fear. Tears streamed down her face as she looked up at the sea of indifferent faces. "Please," she sobbed. "Please, someone. Bring her to my room." The voice cut through the hall like a blade, deep, commanding, absolutely certain. The kind of voice that didn't ask. It demanded. Emma's tear-blurred vision focused on a man descending the grand staircase. Tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair swept back from a face that could have been carved from stone. He wore a black three-piece suit that probably cost more than she'd made in her entire life. His grey eyes locked onto hers with an intensity that made her breath catch. But it was the way every single person in that hall stepped back, the way even Marcus's men froze in the doorway, that told her who this man really was. Dante Moretti. The king of London's underworld. Mr. Moretti, one of Marcus's men stammered, his earlier bravado evaporating. "This doesn't concern you. The girl belongs to Volkov. We're just collecting what's his." Dante reached Emma and crouched down, his expensive shoes just inches from her trembling form. Up close, she could see the faint scars on his knuckles, the dangerous glint in his eyes. He pulled a silk handkerchief from his pocket and gently wiped the blood from her face. "Does she look like she wants to go with you?" His voice was quiet now, but somehow even more terrifying. "Boss, Volkov won't like." "Do I look like I care what Volkov likes?" Dante's eyes never left Emma's face as he spoke. "Tell your boss that if he wants to discuss property rights, he can come to me directly. But I promise you, he won't like how that conversation ends." The men hesitated for only a moment before retreating. They knew better than to challenge Dante Moretti in his own territory. Dante slipped his jacket off and draped it around Emma's shoulders. The silk lining was still warm from his body heat, and it smelled like expensive cologne and danger. "Can you walk?" he asked, his voice softer now. Emma shook her head, fresh tears spilling over. I can't go back there. Please, I'll do anything, just don't let them take me back." Something flickered in Dante's eyes, recognition, perhaps, or memory. Without another word, he scooped her into his arms as if she weighed nothing. Emma instinctively clutched at his shirt, her face pressed against his chest where she could hear the steady beat of his heart. "No one," he said, carrying her toward the staircase, "will ever touch you again." Emma woke up in a bed so soft it felt like floating on clouds. For a moment, she forgot where she was, forgot the nightmare of the past 3 months. Then it all came rushing back. She sat up quickly, wincing at the pain in her ribs. She was in a massive bedroom with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking London's skyline. Dawn was breaking, painting the city in shades of pink and gold. She was wearing clean clothes, an oversized t-shirt that definitely wasn't hers, and someone had bandaged her wounds. The door opened, and Dante entered carrying a tray. In daylight, he was somehow even more intimidating. And devastatingly handsome. "You're awake," he said, setting the tray on the bedside table. "Tea, toast, fruit. Dr. Romano checked you over while you slept. Bruised ribs, minor cuts, dehydration. You'll heal. Thank you, Emma whispered, her voice hoarse. For last night. For saving me. Dante pulled up a chair and sat down, his grey eyes studying her intently. Tell me your name. Emma. Emma Clarke. Well, Emma Clarke, you've created quite a problem. He leaned back, his expression unreadable. Marcus Volkov doesn't take kindly to losing his assets. He'll come for you. Fear clutched at Emma's heart. Then I'll leave. I'll disappear. You won't survive a day on your own, Dante interrupted. Volkov has contacts everywhere. The moment you step outside, you're dead. Tears burned Emma's eyes again. So what am I supposed to do? Just wait here until he finds me? No. Dante stood and walked to the window, his hands in his pockets. You're going to stay here. Under my protection. Why? The question burst out of Emma before she could stop it. Why would you help me? You don't even know me. Dante was silent for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was rough with old pain. I had a sister once. Isabella. She was taken by traffickers when she was 19. By the time I found her. He stopped, his jaw clenching. I was too late. Emma's breath caught. I'm so sorry. I don't want your pity, Dante said sharply, turning to face her. I'm telling you this so you understand. Volkov's operation, it ends now. But to do that, I need information. You worked in his casino. You've seen things, heard things. You're going to help me bring him down. And if I do? Emma asked carefully. What happens to me after? You'll be free. New identity, new life, wherever you want to go. You have my word. It was a bargain with the devil, Emma knew. But what choice did she have? Okay, she whispered. I'll help you. Dante nodded once, all business now. Good. Rest today. Tomorrow, we start planning. And Emma? He paused at the door. While you're here, you're under my protection. That means you're safe. But it also means you follow my rules. You don't leave this penthouse without my permission. You don't contact anyone from your old life. Understood? Understood. As the door closed behind him, Emma sank back against the pillows. She'd escaped one prison only to find herself in another. But somehow, this cage felt different. This one felt like it might have a key. 2 weeks passed in a strange sort of limbo. Emma spent her days providing Dante with every detail she could remember about Volkov's operation. Guard rotations, secret entrances, the names of dirty cops on his payroll. At night, she lay awake in the guest bedroom, listening to the sounds of the city and wondering if she'd ever truly be free. Dante was complicated, cold and ruthless in his business dealings, yet he always made sure she had everything she needed. He never touched her without permission, never raised his voice. But Emma could feel the intensity radiating from him whenever they were in the same room. You're staring again, Emma said one evening as they reviewed casino blueprints spread across his desk. Dante didn't even have the grace to look embarrassed. You remind me of her sometimes. Isabella. The way you bite your lip when you're thinking. The way you're stronger than you believe. Emma's heart twisted. I'm not her, Dante. I know. His grey eyes met hers, and the raw emotion there stole her breath. That's the problem. Before Emma could respond, his phone rang. She watched as his expression hardened into the ruthless mafia boss everyone feared. When? He barked into the phone. A pause. I'll handle it. Increase security around the penthouse. Now. He ended the call and looked at Emma, his jaw tight. Volkov knows you're here. His threatening war if I don't return you. Terror clawed at Emma's throat. What are you going to do? Finish this. Dante stood, already reaching for his jacket. Tonight. We have everything we need. My men will raid his casino, his warehouses, everything. By morning, Volkov's empire will be ashes. Let me come with you, Emma said suddenly. Absolutely not. Dante, please. I need to see it end. I need to face him. It's too dangerous. I've been in danger every day for 3 months. Emma stood, her hands clenched into fists. I'm not some helpless victim anymore. I'm a survivor. Let me help end this. Dante stared at her for a long moment. Then, to her surprise, he smiled, a real smile that transformed his entire face. You are remarkable, Emma Clarke. He walked to his safe and pulled out a bulletproof vest. You stay by my side every second. And if I tell you to run, you run. Deal? Deal. The casino was chaos. Dante's men moved with military precision, clearing rooms, securing evidence, freeing the terrified girls who'd been trapped just like Emma. Gunfire echoed in the distance, but Dante kept Emma close, his hand always on her back, guiding her through the nightmare. They found Volkov in his office, frantically trying to destroy documents. When he saw Emma, his face twisted with rage. You little bitch, he snarled. You think Moretti can protect you forever? You're nothing. Nothing. She's everything you'll never be, Dante said coldly, stepping forward. She's brave. She survived. And she's the reason your pathetic empire is burning. Emma watched as Dante's men dragged Volkov away. She thought she'd feel triumphant, vindicated. Instead, she just felt tired. And hollow. It's over, Dante said quietly, pulling her against his chest. It's finally over. Emma buried her face in his shirt and let herself cry, not tears of fear this time, but of relief. Of release. Come on, Dante murmured against her hair. Let's go home. Home. When had his penthouse become home? Back at the penthouse, Emma stood by the windows, watching the sun rise over London. In a few days, she'd have her new identity. Her new life. She could go anywhere, be anyone. So why did the thought of leaving make her heart ache? Can't sleep. Dante's voice came from behind her. Emma turned to find him in just his dress pants and an unbuttoned shirt, looking impossibly handsome and utterly exhausted. Too much adrenaline, I think. He walked over, standing close enough that she could feel his warmth. I spoke to my contact at Scotland Yard. Volkov will be in prison for the rest of his life. The girls are being taken care of. You're free, Emma. Truly free. Thank you, she whispered. For everything. Your new documents will be ready in 3 days, Dante continued, his voice carefully neutral. I've set up accounts for you. Enough money to start over wherever you choose. Wherever I choose, Emma repeated softly. She looked up at him, at this complicated, dangerous, wonderful man who'd saved her life in more ways than one. What if I don't want to leave? Dante's breath caught. Emma! I know what you're going to say, she interrupted. That you're dangerous. That I deserve a normal life. That I should run as far from this world as possible. She took a deep breath. But here's the thing, Dante. I've spent the last 2 weeks watching you. The real you. Yes, you're ruthless with your enemies. But you're also kind to your staff. You donate millions to help trafficking victims. You saved me when you didn't have to. You don't know what you're saying, Dante said roughly, but he didn't move away. I've done terrible things, Emma. I have blood on my hands. And I have scars on my soul, Emma countered. We're both broken, Dante. But maybe we could be broken together. If you stay, Dante said, his voice raw with emotion, there's no going back. My world, it's dangerous. There will always be enemies, always be threats. I can protect you, but I can't promise you a normal life. Emma reached up and cupped his face in her hands. I don't want normal. I want real. I want you. Dante's control shattered. He pulled her against him and kissed her with desperate intensity, as if he'd been holding back for weeks and finally couldn't anymore. Emma kissed him back with equal fervor, pouring all her fear and hope and unexpected love into that single moment. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante rested his forehead against hers. I'm falling in love with you, Emma Clarke, he whispered. God help me, I tried not to. But you're brave and strong and you make me want to be a better man. Then be better with me, Emma said softly. Be yourself with me. That's all I ask. Stay, Dante said, and it was both a question and a plea. Stay with me. Not because you need protection, but because you want to. Because you choose to. I choose you, Emma said without hesitation. I choose this. I choose us. Dante kissed her again, softer this time, filled with promise and hope and the beginning of something neither of them had expected to find. Love in the most unlikely place. 1 year later. The garden was full of white roses and twinkling lights. Small, intimate, just 50 guests who mattered most. Emma stood in front of the mirror, adjusting her simple lace wedding dress, and couldn't quite believe this was her life now. You look beautiful, Dante's mother said, dabbing at her eyes. In the past year, Emma had gained not just a fiancé, but a family. People who loved her, protected her, accepted her. Thank you, Mama Lucia, Emma said, using the nickname that always made the older woman beam. She'd spent the past year helping Dante expand his legitimate businesses while quietly dismantling the darker parts of his empire. It turned out she had a gift for strategy and negotiation. She'd also started a foundation for trafficking survivors, using her experience to help others find their way back to themselves. The music started, and Emma walked down the aisle to where Dante waited, looking devastatingly handsome in his tuxedo. When their eyes met, he smiled, that real smile he saved just for her. Hi, she whispered when she reached him. Hi, he whispered back, taking her hands. You're sure about this? Last chance to run. I'm not running anymore, Emma said firmly. I'm right where I belong. The ceremony was short and sweet. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, Dante kissed her with such tenderness that Emma felt tears prick her eyes. I love you, Mrs. Moretti, he murmured against her lips. I love you too, Emma said. My dangerous savior. My impossible love. My home. As they walked back down the aisle hand in hand, Emma thought about that terrified girl who'd collapsed in a hall, begging for help. She'd been saved that night, not just by Dante, but by her own courage to accept his help. To choose to stay. To choose love over fear. Sometimes the most dangerous choice was the right one. And sometimes, the devil in a three-piece suit turned out to be your guardian angel. What would you do if the most dangerous man in London was your only way out? Emma found her answer in the one place she never expected. In his arms, in his home, in his heart. Because sometimes love finds you in the darkest places, and sometimes the man everyone fears is the one who will fight the world to keep you safe.